Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome for another session of Tea for Champion, um, a dedicated meetings for our community where we can grow, we can support each other, we can help each other, we can raise each other's vibration, as my very good friend saying always. And we have tonight a good friend of mine, first of all, a brother, I would say, a person that we really align in a lot of subjects in terms of mindset, lifestyle, life in general, family, and we have so many values in common. He's an Irish native, the one and only Stuart Cheung. He will talk today about personalities, about different colors, and how these colors can help us to see who we have in front of us and how we can adjust our presentation, how we can adjust our approach. Depends on different type of personalities. He's a master of that. He has so much experience in it. He already did a great training here in Dublin at a physical event before. I don't believe he can do exact same thing here, but he is a man to be listened to. So thank you, Stuart, for being part of our community. Thank you for bringing the value to this team. He is very, very close to platinum rank. So yeah, let's hear from Stuart what he prepared for our T4 champion for tonight. Thank you, Stuart.
Thank you, brother. Thank you so much. And like most of us here in the Irish community wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Nicolae Dulea for taking the decision to, lock in and trusting his brother Razvan to take this project here and to work it and to grow it in Ireland. So very, very blessed, very, very honored to be running with your brother. I know Nicolae for a good few years from a previous project, and he is a man of integrity. He's a man of trust. He's a man of transparency, and he builds strong networks and he builds strong businesses as well. So I'm just very honored to be running beside him and doing this project with you, Nicolae. Thank you, brother. Good evening, everyone. How are we all doing? Can you maybe please put in the chat box where you're tuning in from this evening? And it would be great to hear from you guys because I want to make this a bit more interactive tonight. I want it to be kind of, as it says on the tin, Tea for Champions, right? So we're here. We're here to learn from each other. We're here to engage. We're here to be parts of this community and to help each other grow, to help each other flourish, to help each other, nurture something that, if we nurture it right, if we feed it right, if we feed ourselves right, we will become leaders here. We will become people who are true servant leaders. And true servant leadership comes from being a well-rounded person, a well kind of grounded person as well. So I want to try and deliver to you guys this evening a training that we have done in the past, both myself, Nicolae, and maybe one or two others on this call here. We did it live in Dublin, where I got a bit crazy. Nicolae will tell you that we did some mad stuff that even he wasn't even expecting, right? So, I even surprised myself, I think, with the feedback that I got. So I want to try and to be able to deliver this training to you guys online is going to be a different type of training, right? But it will be the bare bones of how this is done. It's personality testing, right? It's personal. For me, you've probably heard of Myers-Briggs, or you've probably done personality tests before in the past, or even if you haven't, you're in the right place tonight because we want to be able to pour into you this knowledge. We want to be able to share this knowledge with you guys that has moved us forwards, but not only in business, right? So if you understand personality types, you will do well in business, you will do well in relationships, you do well with the relationship with yourself as well. You will do well in communication, right? Communication is very, very important. So communication is the key to everything. Communication is the key to effective relationships, to effective businesses, to effective business partnerships. But understanding, hey, Texas in this. I hope that's Vanessa. It'd be great to have you on the call, Vanessa, if you're here. So again, it's building and raising that vibration in ourselves in order to become effective leaders, in order to become effective communicators. So we have a color test, or we have a color profiling, which basically narrows it down and makes it very, very simple and easy to understand in terms of, the different personalities that are out there. So when I first started in the first project that myself and Nicolae were in, I was a bit of a party animal. I was a bit kind of dysfunctional. I was a bit kind of, I loved the party. I loved to have fun. I loved to have the crack, and I loved also helping people. I loved, like, sharing, and sharing is caring, and I was very about seeing other people flourish, right? And I didn't fully understand, myself as a person, and I didn't fully understand other people in terms of their personalities. So I noticed certain things, and I noticed that, okay, certain people might be a bit analytical, certain people might be more driven than others, certain people would be more caring, more nurturing, and then there'd be people that like to have fun. But I didn't think about it too much. So here, they have given us the opportunity, and in this industry, they've given us the opportunity to understand these personalities and understand them a lot easier and a lot more effective. So we have four colors, four primary colors. Okay, so blue would be the fun-loving people, the outgoing people, the caring, nurturing people. Yellow would be compassionate, would be considerate, would be kind, would be the salt of the earth type people. Addie Haller there, give me love. So she's a natural yellow. Red, very driven, very focused, very determined, very, they want to know exactly where they're going. Then they will shove other people out of the way to get to where they need to get to. They raise their voice sometimes in terms of speaking to people, because that's their nature, that's who they are. And then greens would be very analytical, very kind of, they want to know the knowledge. They want to know, if you hand them a book, or if you hand them a manual, and let them understand the ins and outs of something, they will love you forever, right? So when we are doing this, you may notice certain colors in yourself, right? So I was blue and yellow. So I was the party animal, the fun loving guy. Yes, let's go, let's go. Where's the party? Where's the party? Where are we going tonight? What are we doing tonight? Is it fun? If it's not fun, I don't want to do it. If blues cannot have fun, they do not want to do it. So if something is, say you have somebody in your business and they're a very fun loving animal, yeah, they're a fun loving creature, and you come down too harshly on them, and you try and say, listen, you need to do it this way. What are you doing? Stop doing it that way. They're going to react a different way. They're going to start shaking inside because of the way you've talked to them. Yeah. So being able to understand these colors is very, very important in terms of effective communication, right? So we can close a lot easier if we know these colors. When I mean close, I mean helping make somebody a decision, helping make them make a decision on whether they start with us or not. Or, for example, if you want somebody to do something for you in everyday life, by the way you talk to them and help them, along the way and making a decision, it can be very, very powerful. So I'll talk a little bit about each color, right? So a little bit more. So again, the blues, they're fun loving, they're charismatic. Sometimes I have crazy hairstyles. You see, I have a bit of a ponytail going on and stuff. So, I'm not too I'm not too structured, right? The blues, they're a bit all over the place sometimes. They're not too structured. They love to be the heart and soul of the party. They love to go out and see the world. They love to be able to, you know, um, dress a certain way. They don't like rules. They don't like regulations. They like to go against rules and regulations. They're not the kind of people that like to be controlled. They're very free spirited. They can be very passionate. They can be very, considerate. So again, these guys, they love to go out there and they love to, do these things. But if they're we're going to talk a bit about functioning and not functioning, right? So an unfunctional blue would be the person that just loves to party all the time. So if they come into your business and they don't want to do anything but party, then they're dysfunctioning or unfunctional blue. So they'll come in and they'll go, when's the party? What can we do? Where's this? Where's that? And then you'll be like, well, there's a business side here too. We need to focus on business. They'll be like, no, 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 no. Don't talk to me about business. I just want to know where the drink is, where the people are, So that's a bit dysfunctional. Yeah. So when you're talking about a functioning color, a functional blue would be that they've raised their game in a different color. So I would have been blue yellow. So predominantly my yellows. So say if you take a test, right, and the test comes out your 80% score is blue, maybe 20% yellow, so on and so forth, right? So the different colors. You can be all of the colors, but you will have colors that dominate the others. So, say for Nicolae, right, for example, he'd be predominantly red. He's very driven, very focused, very, he's business, business, business sometimes, yeah. But now, over the last few years, he's raised his colors to be more fun loving, to be more caring, compassionate, and even more analytical. Sometimes reds they bypass the analytical stage to get to where they need to get to. They will step on people if there's a dysfunctional red. They will step on people to get to where they need to get to. So, especially in, say, for example, the corporate world, and I don't want to offend anyone in the corporate world here, just to give you an example, that reds they need to climb the ladder. They're very competitive. They're very driven. They're very focused on where they need to get to. They sometimes forget birthdays. They sometimes forget anniversaries. They don't remember these things, and they're like, "Oh, birthday, yeah, 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 yeah. I need to focus on this. This is what's happening. This event is happening. This is what's happening here. They need to be somewhere. They know they need to be somewhere. So if you are trying to say to them, "Oh, listen, I have this birthday party," or and if you're talking in a low voice like most yellows do, the red does not want to know. The red is like, whoa, 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 just get out of my way. You're not raising your game to match me or where I'm at. Reds as well, they love like very logos and labels, and if you have nice watches, that they like the material stuff, right? They love those kind of, they're like almost status symbols. Yeah, if they don't have those status symbols, then they're like, I need to get that status symbol. I have to have that status symbol. Yeah. So that would be a dysfunctioning red. But a more functioning red would be more concerned about the people around them and help raise the people around them up. So they'd recognize the colors. They'd recognize, a yellow. They'd recognize a blue. They'd recognize a green. And they would say, well, hey, listen, if I help these guys get what they want, I will definitely get to where I need to go. So it makes sense to help the people that I'm bringing on board into my business, rather than just going business, 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 and neglecting the people around them. They will raise those people up as well, and they will become more effective as a leader, right? So again, if I'm a blue dysfunctional, I'm all over the place on another party, and my hair's all messy, and it's all, I can undo it for you guys if you want, but I don't really want to do that now at the moment. But that they're a bit all over the camp, yeah, and they need to raise their red side in order to be a little bit more structured, in order to be able to do business. So nowadays, if somebody, well, I always had a bit of a red side, but nowadays somebody says I can't do something, I try and prove them wrong. I will go out my way to prove them wrong. So if you tell a red that, and if they're predominantly red, that they cannot do something, they will push you out of the way to get to where they need to get to in order to do that, right? In order to, get to that goal, get to that end achievement, get to that, position of hierarchy, get to that, whatever it is that they're striving to achieve. They will get you out of the way because you don't matter. It's them that matters, right? So maybe even a little bit slightly egotistical, but at the end of the day, I don't, again, not offending anyone. I don't want to offend anyone, but I'm just getting you to recognize these colors in you. And if you take slight offense to what I'm saying tonight, that's a good thing, right? Because you're recognizing these things in you that maybe you need to work on. Maybe you need to go, okay, listen, I need to take this on board. I need to say to myself, I am a red, but maybe I am slightly dysfunctional as a red. This will help you improve your game. This will help you go out there and improve conversations, improve relationships, improve your business, improve the people in your organization as well when you know these things, right? So even if you don't have an organization, it doesn't matter at the moment, because again, at the end of the day, if you're going out there and you understand these colors, it's very, very powerful in terms of understanding people, understanding where people are at. So yellow, they're very softly spoken. They're very genteel. They're very nice. They're very considerate. They're very kind. They're very caring. They're very nurturing. A lot of women would be naturally yellow. A lot of men have the yellow side in them too. Sometimes they don't realize, but they do. And that's why when society says to men that they need to man up and be a certain way, sometimes a yellow man might shake because inside they can't be that certain way. It's not their genetic makeup to be that way because they have that yellow side, and that yellow side has surpassed every other color. That it's just natural for them, right? It's natural to be caring. It's natural to be considerate. It's natural to be kind. It's natural to be. And then sometimes maybe a red woman wouldn't understand that, right? And a red woman would go, what's wrong with this guy? There's something up with him. Yeah, there's something, he's not right. Why is he crying? Why is he doing, why is he on the corner, like, shaking? I'm trying to get him to understand, who I am. And he's not understanding me. So have I frozen, by the way? I'm okay. You can hear me?
We hear you, but we don't see you.
Hear me, but don't see. What happened there?
Turn off and turn on the camera again, try.
Yeah. Sorry, something weird happened. My apologies, guys. Oh.
Still not.
There's always a tech issue on my side. And believe it or not, I'm using a different
Why?
computer.
Because you have too much energy, too much of the red getting out, the loudness of the voice.
The voice, everything.
It scared your camera,
Let me see. Blur my background, choose background. I'll try and choose a different background, see if that works. Okay, so I'm in the background. Okay. Background, yeah. Okay, close that. Okay, am I back now? Oh, no. That's weird.
You are now
Sorry,
busy,
guys.
but we see you somehow.
Somehow. Okay. Look, again, I'll try and deliver the message, and hopefully, you guys don't really need to see me, I guess. So yellow, right? Yellow, very caring, very nurturing, very compassionate. And again, apologies about my camera. I don't know what's happening. If you've just tuned in, my camera has just gone on the blink, so we're not too sure what's wrong with it.
Try from the settings, from the camera settings, just choose different backgrounds or different options.
Yeah, that's what I did. That's what I did, and nothing. No. I'll choose one more background and see if that works, and then if not, I will just leave it. No, see, you can't see me at all. That is very, very odd.
Try with no background at all.
Yeah, okay. Excuse the mess behind me. One sec. Let me see if there's. Okay, can see me?
Yeah, that's better like that.
Okay.
I have nice curtains, bro. No worries.
This room's a bit of a mess. It's the spare room, so we're doing it up. Okay, so we're back in business. Let's see. Okay. So yeah, where was I? Yellows. So yellows, very compassionate, very caring, very considerate, very nurturing, very salt of the earth type people. They want to know that they can help the world, and if they can't help the world, then there's something wrong. All this bad stuff that's going on in the world really, really hurts a yellow. They wish they could go out there and they wish they could change the world and make sure that there's peace and love and unity, right? So again, if you have a yellow and then a red coming in and a red talking very highly at a yellow and a dysfunctional red talking very highly at a yellow, the yellow's going to shake. The yellow's going to be, oh my goodness, what has this person said to me? Why have they talked to me this way? And they'll go away and they could hold on to that for months. They could hold on to that for years. You don't know, right? So I remember doing this test in a hospitality business that I was in. And I sat down with a lady. She was predominantly red and very driven, very focused, very, harsh, she was a harsh communicator, very strong communicator. She talked with authority, right? And we sat down and we talked about these colors, and she stepped away from the meeting. She started crying. And I couldn't believe it. I said to her, why are you crying? And she realizes she's talked to her daughter the wrong way for the past 16 years. The 16 years of her daughter's life, she had talked to her the wrong way. And it was because the daughter was predominantly yellow and she didn't understand that. She didn't understand it at the time. So what we have here, folks, is extremely, extremely valuable, and it's extremely, extremely powerful, right? And if you get to understand these colors and you get to understand the functioning side of the colors and the dysfunctioning side of the colors, you will see a lot of the stuff that you haven't seen before. You will start to recognize in certain people that, you know, oh wow, they're that color, or they're that predominantly that color. You know, so you have to be in this business, you have to be like a chameleon. You have to be almost in the center of all these four colors and figuring out how to talk more effectively with a red, how to talk more effectively with a blue, how to talk more effectively with a yellow. And we'll come to the last color, green, right? So greens, they normally have paralysis by over analysis. They normally, like, they go in and you give them a book, you give them the manual, you give them the information that they need. They love systems, they love structure. They're very, very structured, very, very organized. Some greens shake when, you know, some people may mistake it as OCD, right? Obsessive compulsive disorder, but that could be mainly a green person, yeah? That they're so structured and so, you know, orientated that their diaries are very well kept. They're if they own a business, the business is very well functioning. If they are in money, you'll find that a lot of them can be either accountants or in IT, or, you know, not to stereotype, but a lot of them, a lot of younger ones would wear glasses, ties, suit. You know, they're very kind of like little Mark Zuckerbergs running around, or little kind of, you know, these guys, they love IT, they love engineering, they love all this stuff. Yeah, it's all about structure. It's all about, and if somebody comes in and shakes that structure, they react in a very, very bad way. They get shaken inside. They kind of go, wow. So a blue and a green can be a disaster. It can be a disaster sometimes, right? I was friends with a green, and he was looking at me going, "What is this guy all about?" You know what I mean? This doesn't make sense. You know, why is he doing things a different way? Not thinking things through, not having the structure, not having all this. You know, so me and him, we're almost chalk and cheese some of the times. You know, and we're like looking at it, and I was going, "Well, why is he so structured? And why does he need spreadsheets? And why does he need this, that, and the other?" And I was like, "Don't need spreadsheets. Just give me a figure, or give me, you know, something that I can play with." You know, so I was all about, what can I play with? What can I have fun with? And that really, really did something to him. I would say here in Ireland, wrecked his head, right? So I wrecked his head a lot of times, yeah, because he couldn't understand why I was such a way, and I couldn't understand why he was such a way. And sometimes we go like this and we clash because, you know, he'd have everything boxed off, he'd had everything labeled and stuff like that. I come along and maybe something of his was labeled in the fridge. I'd rip off the label, not think about replacing the label, and just put it back in the fridge. And then he'd be looking for the label, and he was like, the label might have what it is, what data was put into the fridge, so on and so forth. And then I'd come along and I'd just shake all that up, and it would be a disaster, right? So that is a green. A green, you know. So let's put this in practice, right? So first of all, I'm going to ask for some of you to unmute the mics, right? And I want you to be deadly honest with me. Okay, if you've been on the call since the start, do you recognize some of these colors in yourself? And do you recognize you being one of those colors or two of those colors predominantly? Can I just ask maybe three or four of you to come in and just maybe give your opinion on it? So let's see. Valentina, I think you unmuted there. Did you want to say something?
I don't know. I think I'm and red and blue.
Red and blue.
I have mix of
Yeah, very good.
everything.
Very good. So if I tell you can't do something,
As
how would
far
you
as
react?
I know, I can confirm that Valentina is red and blue.
Red and blue.
Yes.
Nice, nice. And it's an unusual combination, right? Because, you know, they're very, those two colors are very chalk and cheese as well. Because if you're predominantly red or you're predominantly blue, they can conflict with each other. You know what I mean? So sometimes, like with me, right, I'd be more red nowadays than I was blue, but it can conflict a bit. And like, you know, sometimes I go, well, I need to get this done. I have to get this done. I need to get to where I need to get to. I need to, you know, box that off. And then the blue side's going, well, that doesn't seem like fun. You know, so,
With red, I
uh,
need to all the times being red. All the times I need to say, okay, hold on, be nice, be good.
Very good, very good. At least you recognize it. You know, it's very good to
Of
recognize.
course, I know myself.
Good, good, good.
So
Is
is
so? Which of the colors do you think you need to work on the most?
To be more calm and more and listen more.
Wow. So that'll be yellow, right? So listening, be compassionate, caring, and it's good to work on because, if you work on these colors, and I'm not saying it's easy, right? It's not an easy thing to do to be a chameleon, but if you work on them and you figure out how can I raise my yellow, how can I, be more caring and be more compassionate and be, there could be people around you that need that from you, right? And that need it because then it could be your relationships or your personal life that could spill into, right? So by listening more, by caring more, and especially with men, especially with red men, right? So red men, they don't listen, and they want to just get people out of the way, and they want to get to where they need to get to. So they need to take a step back and actually look and go, well, hold on, how do I raise my game in terms of being a yellow? How do I raise that game in terms of, me talking and being more considerate and being more compassionate and being more caring, being more nurturing, taking people's feelings into consideration, right? Rather than just stepping on people to get to where I need to get to. So it's very important to understand these. So how do you think you would go about raising your yellow?
I think my yellow is okay. Like I work more now with red because that red is for me more, how to say. Uh, I don't know how to figure out how I may be more. I don't know. I don't want to do mess now with all my
Yeah,
colors in my head
yeah,
and
yeah.
do.
Don't worry.
But yeah,
It's good if you can at some stage take a test. The gentleman that we got this test from, a gentleman called Mark Aceta. So Mark Aceta would have a color personality test that you can take online. I believe it's still available online.
I have
So
the book. Like
yeah,
even years ago, I
brilliant,
met here
brilliant,
the writer here in Dublin. He came with that book.
hmm,
So yeah, and we did all uh, colors and training was few hours. So it was very
brilliant,
powerful.
brilliant.
From that time, I remember, and I try to work on myself
Wow.
oh, to
Oh,
become
look,
better and better
we
every
all
day.
get there. We all get there.
Yeah.
Thank you, Val. Thank you for
Thank
that.
you.
Anyone else want to tune in? I seen that Addy is yellow blue. Addy, if you want to come in and maybe talk about that. Or
Hello,
if you can't,
I'm
don't
still in the
worry.
car.
You're still in the car. Look, if you're
Yeah.
driving, don't worry. Don't worry. Look,
No,
I'd
no,
rather you
I
focus on
didn't.
driving. Huh?
I stopped to see you, to hear you better, and to be focused on you. Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much.
No problem.
Yes, I'm yellow and blue. I
Very
need
good.
to increase the red and to say no.
No, wow, you need to learn how to say no. Okay, that's good
I need to
because
learn to say no.
yeah, Reds have no problems in saying no, right? So they're very direct. So and that's good that you say that because if you're yellow, you naturally say yes all the time, right? Yellows are pleasers,
Yes.
people pleasers. They want to please everyone. They want to please the world. So in order for you to become more effective, you need to raise that red and learn how to say no, right? Because again, it's not a natural thing for you to do because it's not something that comes to you directly, right? It's like something that you would need work. So practice it more, practice it more, and like because everyone's time is valuable, right? And everyone on this call, all our time is valuable, and I really do appreciate each and every person for being on this call tonight because your time is valuable, right? So, but if you don't have the time to do something, say it to somebody. Say it. If you want to protect your energy, if you want to guard your energy, if you're feeling a bit low in energy, learn to say no. It's okay to say no. It's not. People will still reach out to you. People will still care about you, and people will still go, well, okay, maybe Addy. They might be shocked. I say, did Addy just say no? But then they respect you more, They will respect you more as a person, right? And not that we don't respect you, okay? But at the end of the day, I'm talking in general, right? People respect people more
Yes.
when they say no, because then they respect your time. And if you stop saying yes all the time, if you 80-20 rule for everything, right? If you say yes normally, move it to 80%, right? And then 20% say no. And so that's okay. And it's an okay thing to do. It's an okay thing to say no to somebody. And people, again, they respect you more as a person when you say no, and they don't take you for granted. I think sometimes people take people for granted, especially somebody who says yes all the time. They take that person for granted, and then if that person says no, it's like, whoa, hold on, did that person just say no? Wow, okay, maybe I'll come back to them another time, or. So again, be confident in saying no, and raise it up, and just and that, who knows, next time I talk to you, it could be the other way around. It could be 80% no and 20% yes.
I did my test.
Yeah.
Not with Mark Cassetta, but I did with John Maxwell.
Okay, very
And
good.
he
Very
has, his method is
Yes.
similar, but not with color, is DISC.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. And
Yes.
of course, I'm INC. No, I and S. Stable
Okay.
and influent.
Very good.
And
Very
then
good.
yes,
So
I need to
there are
increase. Sorry.
exactly there are a lot of different versions of this, right? And like for
Yes,
me,
yes,
I
yes.
like this.
But similar.
Yeah, it's very similar. This one has been one of the simplest I've come across. And I know that there are different ones, and even there's another one that has blue, red, green, and yellow, and it means slightly different things. That they're mixed up a little bit. But for me, this one has been the simplest that I've come across in terms of being able for everyone to understand on a simplistic, basic level, that it doesn't have to be complicated. That the Myers-Briggs one is very complicated. It's very kind of it's like they really go in depth, and if you really want to know that your true self, that's kind of a one that you do. But again, some people, when doing these tests, they're not 100% honest with themselves. When you do a test like this, you need to be 100% honest with yourself. You don't want to do the test and do it and say to yourself, okay, that's the way I want to be with the questions.
Okay.
You do it the way you
Yes.
are right now. So if it asks you a question and you just in your mind you go, oh, I'd love to be that way, I'll say yes. Then that's not right. You're lying to yourself. You need to do it with a very, very honest viewpoint of yourself first, and that's the only way you're going to move forwards with it. So thank you, Eddie. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you too.
I always knew you were yellow blue. I always knew.
I imagine.
Anyone else want to chime in there? Anyone else want to come in? And so if I'd love to hear from somebody for the first time, if you haven't done anything like this, is there somebody on the call for the first time that they haven't done a personality test, or they haven't done anything to this, let me say, to this kind of level in terms of personalities? So anyone want to come in? Please don't be shy. Please, if there's anyone that wants to unmute their mic. No one? Yes, Stella. Okay. Stella, where are you, Stella? Stella. Z-fold. Ask to unmute. So Stella, if you can unmute your mic, Stella, that'd be great. So just yeah. I think she's coming in now.
Sorry, I'm in a car at the moment.
Stella, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
Very, very good. Where are you tuning in from?
I'm from London.
London. Nice one. Nice
Yeah.
one. So tell me, what's your experience so far?
Well, I have not actually joined this before, but I think yellow, blue, and a little bit of red.
Very good.
Yeah.
And what makes you say that?
Yeah, I'm quite a caring person, and when it comes to red, I can be quite assertive, and when it comes to something I don't like, so I don't hesitate to tell you that I don't like this, and I can tell you no and maintain that no. And before I say that, I make sure I am quite 100% about what I'm going to say. So
Yes.
I'm a bit of red and then blue and yellow.
Very good, very good. But no green.
Not green. Maybe a little bit of green.
Maybe a little bit, a little bit.
Yeah.
So we all have the colors. We all have all the colors in us, right? But it's just about
Yeah.
raising the game on each one. So you said you're predominantly blue and yellow, and you have a little bit of red, right? So maybe your red needs to step up because you already have a little bit of it there. It needs to step up a bit more, and then your green definitely needs a bit of work. So what I find with blue yellows, that their green is not really. It's kind of non-existent, right? So spreadsheet, we kind of repel spreadsheets. It's like the devil or something, it's like spreadsheets over there and we don't want to know. But in order to be more effective, we need to learn how to do some of these things, right? So if we need to be more effective in business, you need to understand the metrics of our business, right? So the metrics of, or let's say not everyone here is probably in the business, and if you're not, don't worry, right? But metrics in business in general, understanding the metrics, understanding, what side do I need to work on? What area of the business do I need to work in? Open up the back office, look at the kind of, the ins and outs of it, look at the points, so, and understanding that and getting to know it, because it's very, very important. If you don't know the metrics of your business, then your business may fail before you've even started, right? So again, understanding that is key, and it's vital. And that is a green trait to do. That's a green trait to be able to do that, right? Go in and take a deep dive, open up all those different tabs that are in the back office. So on your dashboard, and you have the accounts, and you have your dual team, and you have whatever area, go do a deep dive and know where things are, because it will help you. It will help your business. It will help you raise your green. It will help you, so those little things. Timekeeping as well. Timekeeping is a huge thing for greens. They love timekeeping. So I have stood by this saying for so many years, and this is one that you may want to write down. If you're on time, you're 5 minutes late. So I always say, if you're on time for something, you're 5 minutes late. So, it's better to be there ahead of time. So you can maybe network, so you can talk to somebody, you can, and then if something needs to start exactly at 7 o'clock, boom, you're in the seat, you're sat down, you're ready to go. Right. So again, it's a structure thing. It's having that structure. So blues definitely need to work on structure. They need to have that structured kind of, background. It helps a lot. It helps me a lot. So my calendar, knowing that the calendar is full, knowing that I have the calendar set up in a certain way, alarms, things that I wouldn't have been good at before. Now I'm much better at, right? Now, I'm not saying my green is perfect. It's far from it, but I've raised the bar. I've went out of my way to understand those areas. I went out of my way to understand that, yeah, I need to look at my calendar. Yeah, I need to look at my timekeeping. My timekeeping was a bit of a disaster. Sometimes I was like, I see a smile and laughter, right? It was a bit of a disaster. Yeah. So I needed to improve on that. I needed to raise my game. And then, but you're not only doing it for you, right? Raising your game for you is respect for yourself, but raising your game as well is also respect for others. So timekeeping is very, very important in terms of showing somebody a certain level of respect, right? Because I feel that time is very, very precious. It's a precious commodity for all of us, right? We don't know how long we have on the earth. So when you say you're going to be somewhere, you should try and be somewhere at that time, out of respect for you and out of respect for the other person. So again, blues, their timekeeping is all over the place. Yeah. So when you can narrow that down, you can structure it and you can box it off. If whatever you find handiest, either a diary, either your calendar, whatever you find handiest, try and get that more structure in place. Does that make sense, Stella?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, see them laughing and smiling away. Is there anything else you want to talk about on terms of the colors there, or you happy?
No, okay. Thank you.
Okay, good. Anyone else want to? Thank you, Stella, by the way. And I love the way it's still sunny in London.
Yeah, it is still sunny here.
Right, we're only a plane trip away. We're on a short distance away here in Dublin.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll move on. If anyone else wants to come in, or anyone else wants to say it on the colors, the last thing I want to do is maybe give you an example, and please feel free if you want to come in. please do. I see there is a message there. Just give me 1 second. I'll have a look at these messages.
Here is a question, Stuart. According
Yeah.
to you, how you achieve success in life and results in our business based on these colors?
Okay, how do you achieve success in life to get results in our business? Okay, very good question. Very, very good question. There is a book called The Art of the Deal by Donald Trump, of all people. I think it was before he was president and before, all this stuff. That you mentioned the name Donald Trump now, and people go, oh, But The Art of the Deal, if you look at it, he's a very effective businessman, right? He's very effective. He gets what he wants, right? And I know that, that's a very, very red trait to get what you want, but he's able to achieve a lot of stuff. And maybe, yes, he has walked on a lot of people to get there, right? But in our business, we don't do that, right? In our business, we want to learn how to effectively communicate with people in order for them to make a decision. So in terms of the business, if I sit down, I'll go through all the colors. If I sit down with somebody and I've come to the end of the presentation, we go through the closing quickly. What did you like best about it? Was it the travel side, the business side, or both? Or what resonated with you the most, right? So depending on the person that you're talking to, if I'm doing this with a red, I will take it away from a red person straight away, right? So if you're in business with a red, or if you're sitting down with a red, take it away from them. Say, listen, what resonate with you, but and then if they start saying a few things, you take it away from them. Just say, listen, maybe this is not for you, and then be quiet, say nothing. They'll be in their minds be going, what you mean it's not for me? And they'll want to get to the bottom, and they'll want to try and show you that you're wrong. Yeah. So take it away from a red. Maybe this is not for you. I don't think this is for you. And just be quiet. See what they say. And I say, well, hold on a second. I'll show you who it's for. And then you say, well, look, are you ready to get started then? So again, taking it away from red. If you're with a yellow, I hope you see what I've seen in this. We love to help people. We love to, raise vibrations. We love to be, a sharing and helpful community. Do you see yourself doing something like this with us? Why not come with us? And be soft and be well spoken and just a softer tone. And appeal to the yellow then. Appeal to what they're looking for, right? Because remember, the yellows are very... They want to help people. They want to show that they can help people. They want to help the world, right? Unfortunately, we can't help the world, but that's what they want to do. So if you show them ways, and if you focus more on, humanitarian stuff, if you focus on charitable stuff, if you focus on helping other people and helping raise their game, then a yellow is more inclined to do it. Greens, not a hope in hell. You won't get a green at the end of your presentation. You can hand them the manual and you say, listen, hey, go off, study this, and come back to me, right? Sorry, I picked up the solar system scratching, right? So go home, there you go, read that, compensation plan, whatever it is. They'll go through it. They'll go through everything, yeah? Greens want to hear systematic. They want to hear system. We have a sexy system here. System. We have, show them the back office. Show them how everything's monitored. They want to see how things are monitored, yeah? Sorry, did somebody want to say something there? No. Okay. So show them how things are monitored and say, listen, hey, this is our Bible. Go home and read it, and book a date with the green. Then book a date with them and say, hey, let's meet Thursday, 5:00, and you will have read the manual, won't you? Ask them, will they have read it? And they'll say, yeah. If they need more time, they'll say, okay, I need a bit more time. Okay, when's best for you? When can we meet? And get that date. With everyone, get a date, but specifically with the greens, book the date in. They'll love that, because then they're putting something into their calendar and they're boxing something off and they're going, oh, he gave me something to put in my calendar. Amazing. So boom, put it in the calendar, and then show the green that you've put it into the calendar. They'll love you for it, right? They'll love you for giving them that information. They'll love you for handing them a compensation plan. They'll love you for giving them the nuances of the business helping them understand it more, because that's what their analytical brain needs. But sometimes greens have paralysis by over-analysis. They overthink things, they overanalyze things. So, you know, if you get a green into your business, you're lucky to get a green into your business. And don't see it in a bad way if you don't. Yeah, because greens, they stop themselves in their tracks by questioning too much. They'll question the system, they'll question this, they'll question does it work, they'll question. Yeah. So they could spend years questioning. So maybe not get into it too much with them. So again, and if a green comes into your business, you know, just be patient. Be patient with them. Yeah. Give them the information, give them this, that, and the other, give them whatever they need, show them the back office, show them all these things, and be patient, because that's what they need. And the blue, let's go have some fun. Let's go see the world. Let's go to Dubai. Let's go show them the Dubai 2.0 trip. They'll love it. They'll go party, white sensation party. The yacht was booked out just for us. You know what I mean? This is it, man. This is what we're talking about here. You know. And then they'll be like, "Wow, yes, this is the way I want to live my life. This is what I, you know." And you know, we book out nightclubs and stuff like. We have amazing parties. You know, we go make new friends. You know, meet some sexy men, meet some sexy women. Whatever, you know, it's just like, wow. They like to have fun. That's how you appeal to a blue. So you say, listen, man, did you enjoy that? Let's get ready. Let's go. Come on, let's party. You ready to party around the world? Let's do it. And they will love you for it. So blues, they don't take too much into consideration the consequences. A lot of blues just do. There's no consequential, you know, like they deal with the consequences afterwards, and the consequences could be good, bad, or indifferent in the blues life. Yeah, so after. So that's a blue. Yeah,
Adi, when we dance next time bachata.
Yes, brother. So you know that's a blue. Yeah, and look, I've become more relaxed over the years. I've understood because I understand these colors. Yeah, and I understand that blues sometimes, excuse me, piss people off because they sometimes they're too much. Yeah, they're too much in people's faces and too much. They kind of, you know, they kind of annoy people sometimes, especially reds and greens and reds. They annoy. Yeah, so you know, if say the family dynamic, right? If I'm a blue in a family and there's reds and there's greens, those reds and greens are going to be really pissed off at me because I'm the one that's causing the chaos. Where the green wants structure, the red wants just, you know, we need to get to where we need to get to, and you're holding us back. So that, you know, you'll be seen in a bad light if you're a blue, right? But it's understanding what the blue needs. It's understanding how to talk effectively, right? So I will put this into one kind of overall box at the moment, okay? And I always come back to this because I like to have a little bit of an analogy. So I'm a business owner. I run a coffee shop, okay? Just for example, hypothetical. I run a coffee shop. And I want each and every person that comes into my business to be able to operate the coffee machine. Okay. So coffee machine, you know, it's one of those fancy ones. You pull the things and blah, 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 and load it and put the coffee in, so on and so forth. So Blue comes in day one, and it's his first day on the job, and I want him to operate a coffee machine. Hey, man, what's the crack? Listen, come here. We're going to whack out some coffees. I want to show you how to operate this thing, man. We're going to have fun. We're going to, you know, it's just going to be a laugh. We're going to just blast these coffees out. You know, let's get them out there and just let's just have fun. Yeah, let's have fun. And the Blue was like, oh my God, this is amazing. This is my boss. What the heck? Yeah, let's do it. You know, and they're coming in and they're whacking out the coffees and they're having fun. If it's not fun, the Blues don't want to do it, right? So remember, if you run a business, if you're in a corporation, if you're in your personal life, if it's not fun, Blues don't want to do it, right? So Yellow, oh, listen, we would really love your help. We're really going to struggle here today. It's going to be so busy, and we'd really love if you could help us on the coffee machine. It would do so much for us, and you know, like, and just putting your love and everything into the coffee and making these coffees for people are really going to appreciate it. They're really going to love you, and they're going to really want to know you and stuff. Yellow will be like, oh my God, yes, I want to do it. I want to just please everyone, you know. So that's a different way, right? Two different colors, two different ways of talking to two different people coming into my business. Red, look, I want you to operate the coffee machine, man, but I don't think you can do it. I don't think it's for you. Nicolae, this is not for you, man. You won't be able to operate. I don't think you can do it. Nicolae be like,
Bro, I will take the coffee machine on my own. Nobody else touch it.
you see what I mean? So, he'll be like, no, listen, I get out of my way, right? I want to do it. I'm going to do it, right? So, as you can see, he was like, listen, I do this by myself. I'll do it on my own. F you, right? So, and the green, man, look, we really want to operate this coffee machine, but in order to operate this machine, you need to understand the system behind it. So here's a manual for the coffee machine. Go home and read it. Come back to me tomorrow, and hopefully you'll know the ins and outs of how to operate the coffee machine. The green will go, oh yes, you gave me this, you gave me the Bible about the coffee machine. They'll go home, they'll read it, they'll study it, they'll underline stuff, they'll take notes, they'll know the ins and outs of that coffee machine and how to operate it, all the mechanics behind it, all the stuff that is boring to other people. They will know exactly how that machine operates, and from start to finish. Coffee machine breaks down, they'll probably know how to fix it for you. So again, it's talking to these people in a different way, talking to each other in a different way, understanding that if you micromanage people, if you go in there, if no matter what the organization, whether you're the head of your family, whether you're head of a business, whether you're head of an organization, or whether you're just somebody working in an organization, if you understand these effective ways of communicating with people, then everything else will just fall into place. And you'll see that people will respond better to you because you understand them a lot more. And I've put this into practice so much, and I put it into practice in my daily life constantly. When I talk to my kids, I understand that my eldest is a blue yellow. She loves to have fun, and she's very calm and she's very considerate. She's a kind person. My youngest is red. She still doesn't understand the whole nuances of life, but if I try and stop her doing something, she will push me out of the way. And this is what she does. She's very direct. If she wants something and we don't give it to her, the whole house knows about it. The whole street knows about it, because she will roar the house down, and she was like, it's like she wants it. Yeah. She wants to get it. And if I don't give her what she wants, then it's game over. So I've understood that, I need to feed that little bit. And sometimes I need to take things away from her as well, but it's getting to be a proper father and understanding her more and understanding what she needs as a red 3-year-old going 3 now. My wife, very yellow, very, very yellow. She has a lot of blue too, and she has a lot of green. Not a red bone in her body, I don't think. She's not direct, she's not stern, she's not any of that stuff. So, I need to talk to her softly when I'm talking to her. If I raise my voice, I've shaken her a bit. So again, no matter what area of your life, this can come into play, this can come into practice. And it's so very, very powerful. I think this is one of the most powerful things you could do in terms of your time here within TravelAdvantage, is learn more about this, or even in your own personal life, go out and learn more about it. Because when you become an effective communicator, you can do a lot more with the people around you, and people will respond to you a lot better in your business, in your daily life, in your relationships, whatever it is. People respond. Yes, Nicolae.
Can you as well, Stuart, based on this color, if we define a color of a person and we know in advance, okay, this person is blue, yellow, red, or green, how do we create invitations to see the business based on the colors? Because this is as well very helpful. And if we adjust our invitation based on the colors as well, it's going to be very helpful.
Yeah, of course. So, give you an example of some invitations. Okay. Let me see. Okay, so for a yellow, right? I want to show this project to a yellow. I would say to the yellow, listen, I'm working on something at the moment. It's a quite substantial project that helps people around the world, helps empower others. It's all about community. It's all about friendships. It's all about trust and transparency. Would you be interested in having a look? So I believe that would appeal to a yellow. If you talk like that to a red, reds won't want to know. They were like helping people, empowering people, community. That doesn't, I'm not interested in that. So red, listen, working on quite a substantial project at the moment. Don't know if it's for you. Probably not, because you're a busy person. So yeah, if you can meet me this Thursday, great. If not, no worries. So reds, they want direct. They want, if you take it away from them, there has to be something in there that takes it away from them. Yeah. So working on quite a substantial project gets the red thinking. Quite a substantial project. It may or may not be for you. So they're like, what do you mean it may or may not be for me? They'll question that in their minds. We're like, well, I'll decide that. I'm not going to let him decide that for me. I'll decide whether it's for me or not. So again, you're taking it away from the red. Yeah, take it away in the invite as well, and be constantly kind of taking it away. So maybe if you're doing a presentation with red, try and maybe take it away up to 3 times, and then see how they react, because they will want to get it. They will want to understand it. They want to, maybe you don't understand the figures here. Maybe the figures are not, maybe the money is not for you. Wow. They were like, what do you mean the money's not for me? Or maybe the whole travel side of this is not for you. But then again, maybe the business side is for you. So, try and get the red thinking more about it being for them and getting you out of the way. Because if you're out of the way, then that's all that matters to them. They don't care. They just want to boom. They want to go. Yeah. Green, invite. Look, I'm working on something now. It's very systematic. I believe that AI is at the forefront of everything that is going on right now. So I would love for you to analyze this and maybe come back to me and share your thoughts with me about the system. So again, you're appealing to the green and what the green wants. You talk about systems, you talk about systematic, you talk about analyze, you talk about AI. These are things that green thinks are sexy, right? Or like, wow, systems. Yes. AI. Yes. Mathematics. Yes. And it's switching them on, right? They need to be switched on. And then a blue, look, man, working on a fun, sexy project. Love for you to take a look. I think it's really, look, you're going to have so much fun. You'll enjoy it. I'm enjoying it. I just love the people. I love the community. I love the friendships. I love the parties, everything. Let's go. Let's have a look. Boom. Boom. They're like, you don't really need to say too much to a blue. You just need to be animated. You just need to kind of, and that's how you invite those people. Yeah. So think about their colors more. Think about, red. Think about yellow. Think about what they want to hear. If you're building that into your invite, and be natural when you're inviting as well. Don't be too rehearsed. Don't be kind of, just be natural. All I do is invite people for coffee. And if some people ask me what it's about, then I pour into the colors, and then I kind of go, okay, well, listen, I'm working on this project, blah, blah, blah. And then I would say, if it's not for them, I would say it's systematic. I would say we really help people, we build community, or we like to have fun. We like to, go off and see the world and party. So that's it in a nutshell, guys. I hope that was beneficial. We've just gone past 8 o'clock. We want to try and keep these to an hour to respect people's times. I know it's a Friday evening. If anyone has any finishing comments or questions, please do come in. Please do open up your mics, share with us what you want to share. If you found it beneficial, please do comment as well. If you found this very, very beneficial. Addy with the love again. And guys, yeah, that's it. If you need to know more, there is a lot there. There is a lot in Mark Acetta's trainings online. If you go into Mark Acetta, I think you can search just Mark Acetta, or you can go into Living in Full Color on YouTube, and I will bring up that, and I'll bring up more in depth, because there's been so much good trainings on this over the years that I'm only partially delving into what we have here. But again, if you understand these colors, and if you understand and become an effective communicator with all these colors, you will rock this business. You will rock your personal lives. You will rock this business. You will rock the job that you're in if you're still in the job. You'll rock your own business if you still have your own business. So understand, get to know these, and get to become the most effective communicator you can be.